Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're diving into another explainer made by Forge College. And I'm beyond excited to jump into this one because, well, today's the day. We are officially stepping into the Solana Development Tools track. So we're going to stop just talking about the architecture, roll up our sleeves, and physically build that bridge between our local workstation and the Solana Cloud. Grab your hard hats, because we're getting to work.
Right off the bat, there's one unavoidable truth you gotta internalize. Deployments depend on properly configured local tooling. Period. Now, in our last explainer on Solana Cloud components and roles, we covered all the theory behind the control plane and the runtime. But honestly, all that beautiful, elegant theory is completely useless if your own computer doesn't have the right tools to actually talk to those systems. It's like you can't command a spaceship if your control panel isn't even plugged in, right?
Okay, here is our roadmap for today. 1. The grand blueprint. 2. Gathering your core tools. 3. The keys to the castle. 4. Building the master script. 5. The verification inspection. And 6. Ready for deployment. Let's just take it one logical step at a time so we can avoid those massive terminal headaches later.
Section 1. The Grand Blueprint. Connecting local to cloud.
So what's our actual architectural goal here? It's to successfully and securely send instructions from our laptop straight up to the cloud control plane. But our end product isn't just typing some random commands into a terminal and crossing our fingers that we remember them next week. Nope. We are aiming for a reproducible shell script for an authenticated cloud connection. Think of this script as your master blueprint. You write it once, you test it, and then it becomes the absolute source of truth for literally all your future deployments.
Moving on to Section 2. Gathering your core tools, the foundational materials. Well, before we build, we need raw materials. Now, if you're a developer, you already know that cold, sinking feeling of a missing dependency just totally derailing your day. We're going to skip that nightmare by gathering 3 key things right now. First up, the Solana Cloud CLI. This is our primary client to talk to the control plane and runtimes. Just check it by running Solana Cloud -- version. Next, we need curl, which we use for quick HTTP verifications against our endpoints. Check that with curl -- version. And finally, JQ. This one's an absolute lifesaver for parsing JSON responses. Verify it with JQ -- version. Checking these right now is basically like inspecting your concrete before you pour the foundation. It stops the whole building from collapsing later.
Section 3. The keys to the castle, securing the perimeter.
Okay, you've got your tools, but the control plane isn't just going to let any random person walk onto the construction site. You need a high-security badge. You need authentication. Now, the control plane actually gives you 2 ways to prove who you are. Up top, we have the API token. This is definitely the preferred method, usually passed through an environment variable pointing to a file, something like Solana Cloud token file. Down below, we have the keypair file. This is your fallback method, using a local file path like Solana keypair path. While both of these totally work, I strongly suggest going with the API token approach as a best practice. But listen, whatever method you choose, please, I'm literally begging you, keep your credentials out of source control. We've all heard those absolute horror stories of someone accidentally hard-coding their secrets and pushing them to a public repo, right? Don't be that person. Keep your secrets in a protected file and lock them down tight with strict permissions like chmod 600. Nobody but you should be able to read those keys.
Section 4. Building the master script, assembling the pieces.
All right, this is it, the main event. We have our tools, we've got our keys securely locked down, and now we're going to write the actual setup Solana Cloud SH script. Let's break this down into 4 elegant steps. Step 1, set endpoints. We tell the script the exact control plane URL it needs to reach. Step 2, configure auth. We map our token or key pair so the script knows our identity. Step 3, verify tools. Basically having the script double-check those dependencies we just talked about. And step 4, run checks. This is where we execute our status and health calls. These steps and the environment variables holding them together act as the essential wiring that powers the whole operation.
Now, a really absolutely crucial point here is how we handle errors. You want to build your script with strict exit codes. So if curl is missing, exit code 2. If the token is missing, exit code 3. Building it this way is kind of like installing a really sensitive fire alarm in your house. Instead of just vaguely smelling smoke, the alarm tells you exactly which room the fire is in. Trust me, it will save you hours of debugging.
Section 5. The verification inspection, proving it works. We are so close. We wrote the script, but we don't just blindly trust it, right? We need to run an inspection using a verification command. This is just a small, deterministic test call that we run after configuration. It gives us a crystal clear success signal before we ever attempt an actual program deployment. It's the testing the microphone phase. You know, you don't want to find out your mic is muted when you're already out on stage trying to deploy a massive program.
So, what does a passed inspection actually look like? Well, first, you want to see a zero exit code from the script, which just means zero errors. Second, the control plane should return some valid JSON, specifically saying status OK. And third, the runtime health check should report that the nodes are actually reachable. And let me tell you, there is no feeling quite like the deep sigh of relief you get when you see these exact three things pop up in your terminal. It's magic.
Now on the flip side, if things don't go perfectly, don't panic. Seriously, it happens to all of us. Seeing a 401 unauthorized error? Just take a deep breath and check your token. Make sure there aren't any weird hidden line breaks in that file. Or maybe you're seeing a DNS error. Go back and check your endpoint URL variable. Honestly, 99% of the time, it's just a tiny little typo standing between you and success. So be patient, double-check your variables, and just run it again.
Section 6. Ready for deployment. Wrapping up the blueprint.
Okay, if your verification inspection passed, it is officially time to celebrate. Your local workstation is now fully, securely, and successfully wired to the Solana Cloud. Before we wrap, let's just quickly review the core engineering principles we tackled today. Number 1. Keep your credentials protected and completely out of source control files. Number 2. Always use a reproducible script for consistency instead of randomly typing commands. And number 3. Always run a verification called pre-deployment. I'll tell you right now, these 3 habits are absolutely foundational across all the learning programs at Forge College. If you lock these in early, literally everything else in cloud development is going to be a breeze.
So your bridge is built. The real question is, are you ready to actually deploy your first program on Solana Cloud? Keep that setup script handy, because in our next lesson, we are going to start sending actual programs across that bridge. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer made by Forge College. If you want to keep mastering this stuff and dive even deeper into other awesome Web3 topics, absolutely head over to forge.college and continue your journey. See you next time.